4 masked robbers stormed a gas station in southeast Houston, met by a customer who was also armed.
That customer opened fire, hitting 3 of the robbers.
Hey, what's up, you all? Welcome back. I'm Van, and we are all the LFR family. Much love to all of you, and thank you so much for clicking play. Hopefully you click that like button as well. Y'all have been amazing so far. I expect nothing but the same. All right, so we about to check out some Colion Noir. Only reason why is because I'm now in a space, and somebody put it in the comment section where they said range day should be a video that I make, because I'm going to the range with an instructor now, and I'm getting better and better. I'm still some trash shooting. I'm not that great shooting. I shoot better with one hand than I do with two, but I've learned a bunch of good gun safety rules and whatnot, and I feel much better about my technique, and I am getting better. I'm just not that great. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably throw axes better than I shoot a gun. Be honest with you. But Colion Noir is a channel that I really respect. I follow his channel all the time, and in this video right here, he's talking about how an armed citizen, someone that had a gun that was carrying, saw 3 robbers come up in a gas station, armed, fully armed, robbing the gas station, and he was able to save the day, man. Not save the day, but he gave them a taste of their own medicine. And he pretty much took out all 3 by shooting at them. Y'all about to see this yourself, man. I'm not lying to you. Watch this.
Apparently, some idiots tried to rob John Wick while he was in a gas station convenience store.
He says they tried to rob John Wick. He called him John Wick. Well, when you take out 3 shooters like it ain't nothing, yeah, you earned that one. You are John Wick.
And learned the hard way, he wasn't going.
4 masked robbers stormed a gas station in southeast Houston, met by a customer who was also armed.
That customer opened fire, hitting 3 of the robbers. An innocent bystander was also injured during the gunfire. This happened around 8 p.m. at the Circle K Valero near the South Loop and Park Place.
This all started when those 5 robbery suspects walked into this store last night. They came up here, one of them waiting out in a getaway car, while 4 others walked in the store with masks on and began demanding customers of their belongings at gunpoint.
Wow, man. Sheesh. And then John Wick, who was over there picking out a daggone, he's probably picking out some Bud Light. He was about to grab himself a Bud Light, and he was at the back with the fridge open, and he saw them come in. He heard all the commotion. He's probably grabbing him a donut and then or something, and he heard all the commotion, and he said, "Oh, this is my time." Click. He took that clip off. Got that gun, came around the side and said, "I got you lined up right there." Bow, 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 bow. My great, is that illegal? We'll talk about that later.
The suspects are believed to be young men and possibly juveniles. They say the suspects walked in there and gunfire and at some point a man inside the store pulled out his gun. That was a customer. Gunfire was exchanged, and APD says 3 out of the 4 suspects inside the store were hit by bullets. An innocent bystander was also struck by gunfire.
That dude is sharp. 3 out of 4. Yeah, he's been at the range, or he's been practicing his shooting, or he's ex-military. He's something. This dude came out. He hit 3 out of the 4 guys, and I'm betting you a lot that the 4th guy did not shoot back. He ran. He got out of Dodge. He said, "Man, y'all got hit. I'm gone."
But it's unclear who shot them.
If this video doesn't destroy the high-capacity magazine ban narrative, I don't know what will. This dude shot 3 out of 4 robbers by himself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of the Second Amendment. I don't have confirmation, but I highly doubt he used a limited capacity magazine to do it. All the people who say we need to ban so-called high capacity magazines, ask yourself this question. How would a high capacity magazine ban have helped this person in this situation? If anything, it would have hurt him. Even if these robbers showed up with limited capacity magazine, there's still 4 dudes with guns against 1 good guy with a gun. Yet, he was still able to turn the tables on the robbers.
And you know what? I don't think it's going to quiet the argument about the high capacity weapons, because their argument is just that guns are bad. Okay, fear the gun. If it wasn't for guns, nobody would be shot. I mean, think about it. If there was no food, nobody would eat, right? Exactly. That's what we're saying about guns. If there's not any guns, won't nobody get shot. Well, criminals are still going to get their guns. Criminals are still going to run up on innocent people and take their belongings and threaten to kill them, and sometimes kill them or hit them with the gun, pistol whip them, all this other stuff. We will always be victims if we're not thinking like that one guy who was inside the store who was ready. But the thing is, they fear guns. They're taught to fear guns. So that side of the argument, they still gonna look at it and be like, well, they still had guns, and plus an innocent bystander was shot because he started shooting. If it wasn't for the guy with the gun, the innocent bystander wouldn't have been shot. And they would have just gave up their belongings, because they can get new belongings. They just can't get a new life. You don't know what's going to happen out here in these streets. And it's good to let these people know, the ones with the guns that's trying to take advantage of your wife, your sister, your nephews, your sons, your daughters, your fathers, all those people, man. And just trying to victimize everyone. It will behoove us, all of us, especially us taxpaying citizens, us law-abiding citizens, to make sure that we are good and we can help the fellow man. That's what we do anyway. We help each other all the time. We always make sure somebody else is good. We open doors for one another. We donate to people. We make sure that we just always looking out for other people. Well, the same thing applies. The same thing applies.
And it wasn't because he had a limited capacity magazine. That said, there aren't a lot of people who would be willing to take on one robber with a gun, much less 4. I have a couple of friends who aren't exactly pro-gun. A couple days ago, one of those friends said in our group chat that though he's been held up at gunpoint a couple of times in his life, he believes not having a gun on him is what saved his life. In his mind, simply complying with armed robbers is better than, as he put it, trying to be Rambo and then getting shot. I believe there are 3 types of people when it comes to being robbed at gunpoint: the always compliers, the tactical compliers, and those who are never going to go. The always complier is a hope strategist who thinks as long as they do what the criminal says, the criminal won't harm them. The tactical complier is...
You know what? I'm glad he said that, because those are the people who say, if I would have had a gun, I might have died. I might not have see another day. Those are the people who believe that if I had a gun while getting robbed, it would have gotten worse. If they would have known that I had a gun, it would have gotten worse. That's some fearful stuff, man. That's why I always talk about God. We can't move with fear, man. We can't. You still got to be smart and be a tactical.
As long as they do what the criminal says, the criminal won't harm them. The tactical complier is a self-defense opportunist. If the criminals get the drop on a tactical complier, they will comply until the criminal slips up and gives them an opportunity to turn the tables on them by either pulling their gun and shooting or fighting back any way possible once given the opportunity. Unlike the I'm never going types. These type of people take being robbed at gunpoint as a personal disrespect that is almost worse than death. So they don't care if they have a gun or not. The moment a criminal tries to rob them, they are not going, because they rather die in a fight than to comply and get robbed.
I will encourage people to be the tactical complier. That's what I would encourage people to do. As with anything, don't get overly emotional. Don't take anything as the most highest form of disrespect and believe that if I don't do this, then I'm disrespecting. No, live to fight another day. But if you get the drop on them, if they look away, if they drop their defenses, if you see an opportunity that you can act, then you act. Everything should be done with forethought. Like, think about what you're doing. Don't say, oh, regardless, if I'm gonna take this as full disrespect, I'm not going, I'm gonna die. No, I got a family to go home to. So I'm gonna be tactical about every single thing. If you run up on me and I don't see you and you already got that gun up against me, hey, I lost. I wasn't paying attention. But if I see you and I'm ready, oh, you lost. So that's how that should always work. Being tactical with anything, to me, is the best way to go.
My friend is clearly an always complier, but if I was a betting man, the guy in this video was a tactical complier because he didn't shoot immediately. He waited until he found an opportunity. 4 of those suspects entered the store. When they entered the store, they were masked up. The 4 entered the store and started robbing the customers inside the convenience store at gunpoint.
While the robbery was taking place, we believe another citizen that was inside the store was armed, and he proceeded to discharge his firearm at the suspects. At that time, three of the suspects that had entered the store out of the four were hit by gunfire, and we have what we think is a fourth individual who was a innocent bystander in the store who was also hit by gunfire.
Now, I'm sure there are some people who will have argued if he would have just complied, that bystander would never have been shot. And I don't know about...
Didn't I just now say that? I already know that that's an argument. Someone will say that. Someone has said that. I'm certain if you go look into any of the original videos of this robbery and this shooting at the gas station, that some people have said that. Well, if he didn't have a gun, then the innocent bystander wouldn't have been shot. Yeah, okay.
But that sounds to me like victim blaming. Because the way I see it, if the criminals didn't decide to rob these people, there wouldn't be a situation where a bystander could be shot in the first place. Besides, it's not like there aren't cases where criminals still shoot people even after they complied with their demands.
These two teenagers are accused of brutally robbing and murdering 67-year-old Jorge Romero Gil. They say the teens went up to Romero Gil demanding his belongings. And then even after he complied, one of the suspects shot him.
That's because they move in fear as well. See, here's the thing. Yeah, they got a little, these youngins that go around robbing people, they might not fear us like the individuals, but they don't want to go to jail. They want to live to rob another day, just like we want to live to work and love another day. They don't want to go to jail, and sometimes they shoot people just because they feel like, you know what, they might have identified one thing about us that could get us locked up. Or for them, it might be a game. It might be a game. We have an opportunity to, you know, get some extra stripes as gangsters, so to speak. So let's go ahead and kill them so that we can have a story to tell in our next around the hood, or while we smoking our weed, driving. Like this right here just makes us feel good to be able to tell the story. Yeah, I killed this dude, man. He wasn't trying to give it up, so boom, he gave it to me anyway, but I went ahead and shot him because I was just having a rough day. You know, just acting as if they more gangster than they are. Most of these youngins, they are fearful. They are, man.
The reason why I like to consider myself a tactical complier is because some people just want the thrill of taking a life, and the robbery is just an added value for them. This is why I don't give anyone who is willing to put a gun in my face and rob me the benefit of the doubt. I assume if you're willing to threaten me with death to take my property, you're also willing to take my life even after I give you my property. So I carry a gun so that if I do find myself in a situation like this and I have no other choice, I have an option to meet force with equal or better force to protect my life or the people that I care about. Now, considering all of this, I've taken my fair share of defense courses to realize that these types of situations are not easy and things aren't always as clear-cut as you may think. Don't believe me? After you finish watching this video, I want you to watch the video I did with USCCA called How These Defensive Gun Uses Could Land You in Prison. And you'll realize quickly how complicated a self-defense shooting can be. And then you'll quickly realize why I'm always advising people who carry a gun for self-defense or have a gun at the house for home defense or carries or owns any type of weapon for self-defense should be looking into getting a membership like USCCA, which will give you access to self-defense insurance so that if you're ever in a self-defense situation, you have the emotional, financial, and legal support and resources necessary to get through it.
I'm glad he said that. Now, here's the thing. That was a question that I had. Like the gentleman who was inside of the store that had the gun, and he started shooting at the assailants, and he's hitting them and he's firing, boom, boom, boom. You know, I'm just trying to save people. I'm just trying to make sure y'all okay. Is he legally covered? Did he go to jail? Is he going to face any jail time for doing that? Could he potentially be sued for damaging property in the store? Can he be sued by the person inside the store who was shot? You know, can he be sued by one of the assailants for being shot? Because y'all know that the criminals are suing people all the daggone time, and they are wrong as hell. So that's why Colion Noir always talks about the added insurance and protection that he represents. I believe they sponsor his channel or something like that, but he always talks about that because he knows that it's a reality. While you're shooting at somebody, that bullet goes places. It can go through the window, hit somebody's car, somebody got to pay for that car. It can bust if it break a window, if your bullet was the one to break the window or bust the window out, you might have to pay for it. Or it might ricochet and hit someone. Or, you know, just the fact that you're back there shooting in the first place, that don't mean that the owner of the gas station was probably like, I'm complying, take all of my money, just take it and get out. And then you start shooting in the store and you start shooting the people who are robbing them. He's like, oh man, why are you shooting? Stop shooting them. He's ducking and just like, he want them to get up out. He want all of them to get out the store. The person that's saving the day and the person that's robbing them. He want everybody to get out. Why? Because now I got to pay for all this. I got to clean all this up. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. And he's just saying, Colion Noir is just saying, yo, you want to be protected. You want to make sure that you have some insurance and you have some protection. All right. And that goes for people who are in the house as well. Somebody come up to your house and you start shooting, the bullets might go through the walls. The bullets might go out the window. It might hit the neighbor's car. It might hit the neighbor's window. It might go, you know, all these other things. And apparently that insurance pays for all that stuff and it makes sure you're good. And it might even give you some representation when it comes to potentially going to jail.